Welcome to Infidelity Stories, a platform dedicated to sharing deeply emotional narratives filled with unexpected turns, profound feelings, and hidden truths. These stories not only stir emotions, but also provoke thought, and at times, they can even alter our perspective on the world. Today, I want to share my own personal story, one that continues to trouble me and weigh heavily on my heart every time I bring it up. I am Camilla, a stepmother, about to celebrate my 40th birthday. This is the story of how my life, once brimming with hope and promises, descended into a nightmare I never saw coming. Make sure to subscribe to my channel so I can keep bringing you more captivating true stories like this one. Don't forget to watch the video till the end and like it, as this story is bound to be incredibly interesting. Please hit the like button to show your support. It all started so innocently, so normally, just like any other day in my life. I had been happily married to Michelson, a man I deeply loved, who had 2 children from a previous marriage, Daniel, 20, and Michael, 18. I always knew that being a stepmother would have its challenges, but I believed that, with time, everything would fall into place. The relationship between us was somewhat distant, but that was natural. I was the new woman in their lives, and I understood the importance of giving them space and allowing them to adjust to the changes in their family. Our relationship was inherently dynamic. Michelson and I had been together for some time, but finding the right balance was never simple. That afternoon, Michelson was away on a business trip, leaving me and his 2 sons at home. I didn't think anything was unusual at first, but little did I know. I experienced an unusual tranquility while standing in the kitchen, preparing dinner. The only sounds breaking the stillness were the clattering of cutlery as I chopped vegetables and the gentle simmering of the stew pot on the stove. The house felt calm and serene, giving me an unexpected sense of solace in the solitude. The silence was almost overwhelming, and I inhaled the warm, robust aroma of the stew, anticipating a delightful meal for everyone upon their return. Suddenly, I heard rapid footsteps from upstairs. Before I could even turn around, Daniel burst through the kitchen door, his face ashen and his eyes filled with terror. "Mother, please come up here immediately. Michael is on the verge of death." His voice carried a sense of urgency and sorrow. The moment those words left his lips, a chill ran through me. I was caught completely off guard. My heart raced as those words echoed in my mind. "What do you mean? What is going on with Michael? Did he have an accident? Is he seriously ill?" Questions flooded my thoughts. My breath quickened, and I had no time to think further. Without hesitation, I dropped everything, my knife, the cutting board, everything, and followed Daniel. We rushed upstairs, nearly in a daze, my legs carrying me swiftly up the stairs, my pulse pounding in my chest. Daniel moved ahead, his face somber with concern, his footsteps quick and determined. I tried to shout, but my voice trembled, weak and unsteady. It felt as though my voice had abandoned me, leaving me powerless. Michael flashed a sly, almost mischievous smile that sent a shiver down my spine. "Mother, do not try to resist," he said, his tone gentle yet laden with undeniable authority. "We do not wish to harm you. We simply want you to realize your importance to us." His words hung in the air, oppressive and suffocating. What had happened? What led to this moment? This was not what I had expected. When I married Michelson, I never imagined things would spiral to this point. Each minute dragged on, feeling like an eternity. I struggled to hold on to the last fragments of my sanity, but they slipped away, eluding me. I fought back, tried to push them away, but my body refused to follow my commands. My mind and body felt disconnected. Every touch and movement from them seemed to drain a part of me. My resistance weakened, slowly, relentlessly. Inside, I was torn by deep guilt and humiliation. Wearing a strange garment, I felt as if I were caught in a storm, a raging tornado inside me. My body reacted involuntarily, triggering a terror I couldn't shake. I knew the situation was wrong. I knew it crossed every boundary, but I couldn't stop it. I couldn't escape it. With every passing second, I sank further into the chaos, losing more of myself. The values I once held dear slipped away, and I was no longer the person I used to be. Control had slipped from my grasp. I had become a pawn in their game, a plaything for their desires. The days that followed blurred together. Each morning, I woke beside Michelson, his serene face a sharp contrast to the turmoil within me. His warmth, his trust, everything I had once cherished in our life together now felt like a cruel joke. I was trapped in a never-ending cycle of guilt and fear, unable to break free. Every time I looked into his eyes, I saw nothing but love and trust, and yet I knew I had shattered it. I couldn't bring myself to tell him the truth. The silence between Michelson and me deepened with every passing day. I couldn't face him without feeling the weight of my lies. My secret pressed down on me, heavy and suffocating, like a stone lodged in my chest. The smile that had once come so naturally now felt like a mask, concealing the deep shame and fear that had taken root within me. When Michelson was at work or out with friends in the evenings, I was alone with Michael and Daniel. The house that had once felt like a refuge now seemed like a prison. Every time I saw them, I could feel their eyes on me, waiting for the next move. Their presence loomed like a shadow, making every room feel suffocating. They had taken control of my life in ways I couldn't fully comprehend, and with each passing day, their grip on me tightened. I tried to fight back. I yelled, I shoved, I resisted, but it felt like trying to stop a tsunami with a stone. The more I struggled, the more determined they became, as if my resistance only sparked their desire, making them bolder and more relentless. The moments I had hoped would pass by never did. Instead, they became routines. I, who once prided myself on my strength, had become weak, emotionally, mentally, and physically. My mind screamed for me to stop, to escape, to run, but my body no longer obeyed. The battle shifted, no longer about what was happening, but about the war inside me. I felt like a prisoner trapped in my own body, as though everything I once believed in had been stripped away, piece by piece. My own thoughts became my enemies. Every time I tried to understand what was happening, the truth seemed farther out of reach, buried beneath layers of guilt and shame. At times, I would stare into the mirror, desperately trying to find the person I once aspired to be. But all I saw was a stranger, someone broken, lost, someone who had let everything slip away. My reflection looked back at me with hollow, empty eyes, as though the person I once was had vanished long ago. I no longer recognized myself, and I didn't know who to turn to. There was no one who could possibly understand the darkness I had fallen into. How could I explain to anyone what was happening? How could I confess to Michelson, the man I loved, that his own flesh and blood had shattered me in ways that could never heal. How could I tell him that I had become their victim, their puppet, controlled by their every move? I couldn't even make sense of it for myself, let alone tell anyone else. The shame weighed so heavily on me, suffocating me, and each time I considered confessing, a voice inside me told me it would be the end of everything. Michelson would never forgive me. He would destroy the life we had built together, and only the ruins of my own mistakes would remain. The weight of that possibility paralyzed me, rendering any action impossible. But even then, there were moments when the guilt became too much to bear. In the silence of my solitude, I would cry, my tears soaking the pillow as I clutched it tightly against my chest. I longed to scream and express the anguish and fury that had built up inside me, yet I remained silent, unable to break the heavy silence that surrounded me. The walls of my own mind tightened day by day, trapping me further in my own guilt and silence. I started to wonder how much longer I could keep up the illusion of normalcy. How many more days could I fake happiness beside Michelson while my spirit continued to wither? Every night I lay awake next to him, staring at the ceiling, waiting for the comfort of sleep, only to be haunted by nightmares, visions of the events I had allowed to unfold. Michael and Daniel relentlessly chased me through my dreams, their eyes fixed on me, their voices echoing in my mind. No matter how hard I tried, I couldn't escape them. They lived within me, and there was no way to drive them out. I tried to distract myself with work and small diversions, hoping to escape the horror I was enduring, but nothing worked. The reality was inescapable. My life, my marriage, everything I once believed was built on lies. I had allowed this to happen. I had surrendered to exploitation. And now there was no escape. But I knew I couldn't carry this secret forever. The burden was suffocating. I had to make a decision and face the truth, no matter how difficult it would be. Yet, I wasn't sure if I was confronting the reality of my actions or the very essence of my transformation. One thing was clear. This silence was not the answer. It would destroy me and everything I held dear. If I didn't confront the truth and take control of my life, I would face dire consequences. I would remain lost forever. Now, I seek guidance. Should I reveal everything to Michelson? Should I confess and deal with the repercussions? Or should I stay silent and continue living with this heavy burden, hoping that time will heal me? If you've read this far, please refrain from judging. I seek only relief and peace. I can no longer carry this weight alone. I need to know that I am not the only one who has felt this overwhelming sense of despair, confusion, and captivity. From my experience, I have learned that silence only breeds more pain. It creates more secrets, more lies, and more agony. I see now that I should have spoken up sooner, that I should have faced the truth from the start, no matter how difficult it was. But it's never too late to fix things. I must find the courage to move forward, and I will, no matter the outcome. I will find a way to free myself from this darkness. I will restore my life, my dignity, and my peace. Thank you for your attention. Here are 5 moral lessons based on the story. The power of truth. The story highlights how hiding the truth can lead to inner torment and emotional decay. Confronting the truth, no matter how difficult, is crucial for personal peace and healing. The lesson is that honesty, even when it feels impossible, is necessary for growth and emotional freedom. The consequences of silence. Silence in the face of pain or wrongdoing can be damaging. Suppressing feelings or avoiding difficult conversations only intensifies internal struggles. The moral lesson here is that speaking up and addressing issues directly is essential to avoid long-term harm. Facing guilt and responsibility. The story emphasizes how important it is to take responsibility for one's actions and face the consequences of past decisions. It teaches that we cannot avoid accountability without suffering, and only by acknowledging our mistakes can we begin the process of healing and self-improvement. The danger of living a lie. Living a life built on falsehoods can create a facade that is unsustainable and ultimately harmful. The story teaches that living authentically and with integrity is vital for emotional well-being and lasting relationships. The strength to change. Despite the overwhelming feelings of guilt and fear, the protagonist shows the strength to recognize the need for change. The moral lesson here is that it's never too late to take control of one's life, make difficult decisions, and work toward a healthier, more truthful future. Please share your thoughts and insights. Your reflections could help me find a way out of this story of confessions, which ends here. If you find this narrative meaningful or engaging, please like, subscribe, and share your views. Your contributions are vital to us. Feel free to comment below. Your feedback empowers us to continue bringing you more stories, facts, and authentic experiences. Thank you, and goodbye. See you in the next video.